Hello, Sachin Patel here, coach and mentor for doctors and dentists. So for those of you who've met me, nice to see you again. And those that haven't, I should introduce myself. I'm Dr. Sachin Patel. I'm a GP. I'm now a full-time coach and mentor for doctors and dentists. I also run several medical businesses. So before I start today, just thought I'd give you an introduction to what I'm going to be talking about. Over the last few videos, I've talked really about how to increase income for doctors or dentists, and my sort of advice could be extrapolated to other industries as well. So, if you're from another industry, by all means, keep watching. But I've sort of tailored it for medical sort of purposes. So the stuff I've shared with you in the last sort of few videos has been really about a few different things, but it's all centered around sort of four main areas, and that is increasing your number of leads, increasing number of conversions, your transaction number, and your average transaction value. That's what I've been talking about. And today what I'm going to sort of share with you is things that I've sort of found really helpful over the times, with regards to increasing the number of leads. So in what we're talking about, it's the number of patients. And the things I'm going to share with you are actually sort of low or no cost, and things that are sort of very impactful for patients and create better working relationships for you with other professionals and your local community. Now, before I start that, just one thing I wanted to address was I've had a few different people sort of reaching out to me and contacting me, asking, about who I am, etc. I've put a link at the bottom. You're welcome to follow that and sort of see what I can offer. But really, I'm just here to share things that I've learnt and found over the years. And the stuff I'm going to share with you, it's a combination of stuff that I've personally experienced and personally found, in addition to stuff that I've picked up from the whole variety of coaching and mentoring that I've undertaken over the last sort of 3-4 years, especially. And that's paid coaching and mentoring. I've probably invested $150,000 to $200,000 in. So I want to give you that value and sort of spread what I've learned, because I've found it very beneficial. So let's jump straight into it. How do we get more patients? Well, the first thing that I always say, and I always start my videos with, is about really, number one, being good at what we do and being committed to trying to do it or even better. We have to sort of really be committed to being outstanding at what we do if we're going to be asking people to send their friends or colleagues or loved ones to us. And so it's really important. So I always sort of start with that, and you'll see from my sort of first video a while ago about my my theory of the ultimate doctor. I really stand by that. It's really important to be committed to trying to be the best at what we do first, and then look to sort of grow income out of it. So, assuming you've done that and you've got happy and satisfied patients, what I would be doing is, if you need or are looking to sort of grow your patient list or your client list, is actually just explain to patients that you're seeing that, if they're happy with your service and they know anyone that they think might benefit from what you do, that please feel free to share, because you've got capacity, and the people who really sort of value and sort of love what you do will go and share that with 1, 2, 3, 5 other people, and that will then lead to knock-on effects of increasing your number of leads or number of patients. So that's number one. Now, assuming we've done that, then the next part is not what I call, but what is known as referral marketing. And a good way to sort of divide it, I've found helpful, has been into primary referrers and secondary referrers. The primary referrers are the people that you sort of directly interact with through your work. So whether that's, and I'll just give you a few examples. If you spend some time brainstorming it, you'll sort of come up with a much bigger list. But some examples are specialists, allied health, so physio, psychologist, osteo, that type of dietitian, etc. Pharmacists or pharmacies, local sort of community health services, etc. Secondary referrers might be people that you have some indirect link to. So that might be local businesses, so businesses around you. It might be schools or childcare or kinders. Those are the types of things with sort of secondary referrers. Now, once you've sort of thought of those two types of groups, then really what I would be recommending is you sort of target people locally, for example, in your primary referral group, and then just reach out to them, try and meet them, see what the problems they face are, see if you can help them with those. And it really helps on sort of a variety of levels. It helps the patient because there's more joined up sort of care. But as well as that, it really helps you form better relationships with fellow health professionals in the local area. And the spin-off of that is more patients will come your way. So I'll share an example with you. When I opened my first practice, I actually contacted our maternal child health nurse locally and the local service, and we invited them into the practice. We put on a lunch. In they came. We spent probably 30 to 45 minutes just getting a good understanding about what each other offers. And what that meant is we had a really good working relationship that benefited many mothers, and especially first-time mothers in the local area, as well as many of the children, because it just made it much easier for the health professionals, our fellow health professionals, to interact with us. So that's just a simple example. We then carried that on every 12 to 18 months. As a practice owner, I really kept it as a regular sort of rolling schedule. Now, as an individual GP, it might just be you that reaches out to them. If as a practice owner, I'd highly recommend that you do this on a regular basis, because it just makes things much better for your end user, the patient, but also has spin-off effects for your business. So that's one example amongst the primary referral group. So I'll give you another example amongst the secondary referral group, something that we did. So we contacted the local kindergartens, 4-year-old kinder, and offered to go and do some mock play medical sessions with them. They were delighted, they invited us in, so off we went, doctor and nurse, and we took a big box of goodies with us, and in that box was stethoscopes, torches, tongue depressors, some mock x-rays that the x-ray our x-ray colleagues gave us, and we did short 10 to 15 minute sessions with each of the classes, and they were so well received. The children had a ball. They just pretended examining each other, asked us questions, enjoyed looking at the x-rays. It was just really rewarding, and as a sense of contribution for me and my colleagues, but also just great for the children, because it just really helped bring down barriers between them and local medical professionals. Parents were very happy with it. The kinder was delighted, and it just made it that much easier for those children to see doctors and nurses in the future. And obviously there was a spin-off effect, which aside from the main benefit, which was a sense of contribution for those of us involved, the spin-off benefit was that it actually increased referrals and numbers of patients that came to my practice. So they're just some simple examples. You can sort of get your mind thinking and ticking away about how you might sort of target each of your primary referrers and your secondary referrers. And if you do that, you'll find for very low cost, very high personal reward in terms of satisfaction, it will lead to your spin-off, which is more patients. Now, the third thing I'd like to talk to you about, although not in detail, is about advertising. When we think of how to increase patients, it's normally the first thing we think of. And I suppose what I'm trying to say is that I would be thinking of the last two elements I talked of first. So your patients, your existing patients that you do great work for, and your referrers. I'd be going to those first, but advertising does have a place. And there's just 3 things I wanted to share with you about advertising, if I may, that I learned from testing and measuring. First of all, with any advertising, try and make it practical for the user. So, flyers, newspaper adverts, they'll often go either unread or straight into the recycling. If you've got something like a fridge magnet or a pen or a mouse mat, those are the types of things which people will keep and use. So if you can find sort of practical elements that carry your advertising, that would be ideal, because they're then usable by the end user. So that's one element. Social media is the other. So social media is, you're probably watching this on social media right now. It's a great platform just for spreading your message. People are very heavily on social media nowadays, and so they're a great sort of avenue for advertising and for sort of marketing. And there are a few different ways you can do it. If you really enjoy educational elements, you can make an educational thing. So that's what you're watching now. I'm making an educational element because I know some people watching this, in the end, will want to work with me, and that's great. But my main thing is I want to spread the message that I have to share. And so social media is a great way for doing that. If you're an individual practitioner, you could create your own brand around that. If you're a practice, then it's a great way to engage with your patients and really quite quickly let them know about developments and changes that are happening, and new services, for example, that are happening within your business. So highly recommend it. And thirdly, Google. Everyone knows about Google AdWords or adverts. You'll see them all the time when you run a search. What you probably don't know, and this is the reason for sharing it with you, is that if you are paying one of these sort of several third-party sort of groups which send you patients and charge you on a per new patient basis, for example, you just have to be aware, if you're advertising on Google as well, you're actually going to be competing with their adverts. So you should either pick whether you do your own advertising or whether you use one of those third-party applications. I'm not advocating one or the other, but if you're doing both, you may well be paying to compete against yourself. So it's a bit of a strange thought. So and it's hard to convey in a 1 minute segment on this video. But what I wanted to share with you is a great resource that I found for educating myself about social media and Google, amongst other things. And that's a website called Udemy, U-D-E-M-Y. That's U-D-E-M-Y. And if you Google that, you'll see they provide a whole variety of courses. They range from free to paid, but it can help you get an understanding. So, and you could get a deeper understanding, so you can run your own campaigns, or you can get a very superficial one, so you have a bit more understanding if you decide to pay someone else to run your advertising on social media and Google. But have a look and educate yourself, and definitely make use of those avenues, because they are sort of the really sort of up-to-date and modern ways of getting your name out there. So with that's sort of some very sort of quick information, and I think very powerful information that you can put to use right now to try and increase your number of leads, and thereby hopefully increase your number of patients. It's been a pleasure being with you today. Like I said at the beginning, quite a few people have asked how you can work with me or how you can contact me. I've put a link at the bottom, so feel free to follow that if you like. But otherwise, I'll be seeing you again very soon and sharing some more information with you. And once again, I'm Sachin Patel, coach and mentor for doctors and dentists. It's been a real pleasure sharing this information with you today, and I'd like to thank you for joining me. And I hope to see you again very soon. And have a great day wherever you are in the world. Thank you. Bye-bye.